I'm struggling to diet. What would the best exercise with dieting to lose weight? What? All right, so I get my first question for you is, what have you done to assess yourself? All right. And you say you want to lose. Let me read that question. You say you want to lose weight. Why do you want to lose weight, and why do you not want to just focus on losing fat mass? All right. So why do you want to lose weight, and why do you not want to just focus on losing fat mass? Because if fat mass if you just want to lose weight, fat-free mass could go down too. All right. You could just only lose fat-free mass, and fat mass could stay the same, and you will have lost weight. But the pounds on the scale would not have gone down. The pounds on the scale, the pounds on the scale, or sorry, let me rephrase that. The pounds on the scale would have gone down, but the fat mass, the pounds of fat mass would not have gone down. All right. So let me go on to the next question. How to get rid of lower belly fat without losing weight? All right. So I'm assuming with you want to lose fat mass. All right. So again, for any question, my first question is always, what have you done to assess yourself? So again, if you aren't sure where to start when it comes to that, on my YouTube channel, I have I explain, like I have one playlist on fat loss where I go through a VO2 max assessment, and then I have other playlists explaining just how to like I have one explaining how to assess your stress levels, and then it would also be very important to also assess your posture and form, because resistance training is going to be very important too. So when back to your question again, losing lower belly fat. So first of all, we can maybe target visceral fat more than adipose tissue if that's but we cannot just spot reduce fat. And then another thing is back to what I was saying here is you want to increase fat-free mass. All right. So you need to hit those compound movements in the gym, but you also need to make sure that you can do them with great form too. All right, so does that help out? Let's see, any more questions? I need to lose fat mass. What would you suggest as a rugby player? So, again, as a rugby player, you need to, when you want to lose fat mass, but again, you need to make sure that you are not decreasing strength, that you're not decreasing power. So your first priority is gonna be to maintain those two things. So again, I would recommend you eat at calorie maintenance, maybe a slight calorie surplus too, because you want fat-free mass to because if fat-free mass goes up and pounds on the scale stay the same, fat mass will have to go down. All right. So I hope that makes sense here. So again, just continue doing the training that you would be doing, your power training, your maximum strength training, and then maybe also in the off season mix in a little hypertrophy training too. All right. Let's see what. Okay, so I need to. All right, sorry. How do I get rid of shin splints? All right, so again here, it's going to be very important that you assess yourself. What sport did you get them from? If you got from running or whatever it is, you need to record yourself running. You need to record your squat form, and you should kind of have an idea too of what your posture looks like. You need to be very aware of when you squat your foot placement. All right. So I'm just gonna demonstrate something right here. So hopefully my phone stays up here. So again here, when you squat, do your ankles roll over like this, all right? Do your ankles roll over this way? So the knees would move in more. Like obviously if the knees move in, the ankles gonna tend to invert. If the ankles move roll over so they invert, the knees will move out more, the hips will externally rotate. So again here, I cannot just give an answer to these, a simple answer to these questions. You need to assess yourself, all right? If you give me more information, I might be able to help you. But just to keep you motivated here, just assessing yourself and getting down more information about yourself should feel like a great, huge sense of relief here, just getting that first part down. All right, so more questions. I need to lose fat. I need to lose fat mass, but I don't work out regularly. What do you recommend for me to do? All right, so my first thing I recommend you to do is so it's going to be many steps here. First, just start off assessing your posture, assessing your form. Just start off hitting those compound movements with light weight, and then study the film of you performing those exercises like a professional athlete would. And just look at the foot, look at the ankle, look at the knees, look at the hips, look at the pelvis, look at the lumbar, look at the thoracic, look at the cervical, look at the scapula, look at the shoulder joint, and just you get the point here. All right, start off assessing yourself and just look at every single detail. Just in the gym, record your form. All right, if you haven't started working out, you need, and you want to get into it, you need to find out what's gonna work for you. So the first thing you got to do is get some information down about yourself. So let's see, what else do we got? How do I become more vascular? To be honest, I do not really know. I think if you decrease body fat percentage and like decrease water weight and add lean muscle mass and just do all that type of stuff, that may make a difference. And possibly, I don't know, I'm just throwing it out, increase your VO2 max, but you should want to do that because that's the biggest factor of life expectancy, and it's a big factor for your health. All right, so let's see what other question. I've been on keto. What do you think of it? So my first again, when it comes to first of all, back in like the early 1900s, the keto diet was a treatment for epilepsy. So like, it's just important to, the reason why I say that is just because it wasn't first intended for weight loss, so it's important. It's just good to know that. Now the next thing I got to say is is how when you're training an RPE of 10. So a lot of people think RPE is just for weight training. It actually can be used a ton for cardio, which when doing cardio, you would think of this as training at your max heart rate. So when it comes to training at those intensities, you're gonna need a lot of glucose. Yeah, you can improve efficiency with that, but my question is, how are you gonna improve your? It's gonna be tougher to improve your VO2 max and all those types of things. How to get bigger chest, pecs. All right, let's get into this one here. So again, assess yourself. What's your bench press form look like? All right. Well, what's the scapula doing throughout the range of motion? What's the shoulder joint doing? What's the cervical doing? What's the thoracic doing? What's the lumbar doing? Even what's the pelvis doing? So just those things here are going to be very important. So again here, when you bench press, we want, so if you're looking to make it more of an anterior deltoid and workout, you can tuck those elbows in. You can even do a close grip bench press, would obviously make it a great anterior deltoid. If you want to hit the pectoralis major more, again, you want those elbows out more so we can get more shoulder horizontal adduction. Now, you also want to depress the scapula. So the scapula should be down like this and not elevated like this. You can clearly see I'm not getting that much of a pec contraction here because when the scapula is elevated, the upper fibers of the upper traps can protract the scapula and do all that kind of stuff and horizontally adduct the shoulder. So and then again, keep the lumbar neutral. If you cannot do that, make sure you keep in the same position throughout the entire range of motion. All right. What are some other questions? Lower back issues and sciatic nerve. I think might be joining that issue. Any advice? So my first advice is I'm a personal trainer. That question's outside the range of my expertise. You should go ahead and see a physical therapist. Now, my first approach when I see both lower back issues and sciatic nerve, that nerve might be getting pinched too. I think tight piriformis. It could, if that muscle's tight, it could pinch that nerve. And then basically I just think tight hip external rotators, because then if the piriformis is tight, that iliopsoas could be tight too. So then that could be what's causing your lower back pain. So personally, I would recommend internally rotate the hip. That's how I would stretch the piriformis and iliopsoas, and then I would also, maybe for strengthening, isolate that joint action hip internal rotation. I a while ago on my TikTok uploaded a video on that. Yeah, but just see a physical therapist, all right? Best version. All right, so again here I'm taking questions. Do you take pre-workout? Personally, I do not take pre-workout. I kind of stay outside of supplements and just because they're just kind of outside the range of my expertise. I'm really focused on just basically the training side of things. As a personal trainer, I prescribe exercise. I do not prescribe supplements. So yeah, but you could see like possibly a registered dietitian or sports nutritionist. I'm just trying to think of they would probably be good for that. What is a lumbar? Your lumbar is, so you know how you have the spine, all right? Your lumbar is you got 5 vertebrae right here. So you got the pelvis here. So the thoracic's up here. The lumbar is right here. All right. So if I say lumbar extension, that's what I mean here, because it curves that way. If I say lumbar flexion, I mean it rounds, it curves the other way. This part between those two hands. Does that make sense? All right, so let's see. Do we got any more questions? All right, so I am still taking on questions here. All right, so does sugar-free whey protein exist, and do you recommend it? Honestly, I would say supplements are outside the range of my expertise. But again, it's going to, I'd recommend getting your protein from a variety of sources so you can get all those amino acids. All right. So any more questions? All right, so again, I am taking on questions in this live, so let's see, we got some more stuff. So yeah, for those of you that have just joined, any advice for a newly qualified PT? All right, great question here. My first, let's see, there are a lot of things I wish I did differently. Obviously, you probably heard this a lot, but it's very important that you actually do this, because with me, I actually did not do this. Start off training your just start off training people you know. Train your mom, train your dad, train your grandma, train family members, train your friends. Try to just try to get more practice. You need to get more practice. The biggest mistake I made is kind of just start off training at LA Fitness, train someone before that, like, I actually trained a client that I didn't know before I trained someone that I did know. Because if you just start off getting practice with family members, you will be able to, when you actually do get your personal training job or do your business and have your first real client, you will be able to train them like you have done this before. So you got to get that experience, all right? So I just need I'll answer some more questions here. Why do my shoulders always hurt when doing the bench press, and how can I improve that? Alright, so there's many different things that could cause this. You need to assess yourself. Again, you could just simply have a tight anterior deltoid. You could have a muscle. You could have like a contraction not there. You could have a contraction not in the upper traps on the anterior side, or just anywhere on the upper traps and neck area. But again, you need to assess yourself, and you should probably see a physical therapist. And then it would be better to have more details too. So like, you could have, it could just be many things. You could have shoulder impingement, rotator cuff tendonitis, etc. Those more type like medical things. are outside the range of my expertise. So let's see. Best exercise for bigger external obliques. All right, so again here, the external obliques, what do they do here? They rotate the lumbar. That's their main function. Then they lateral flex the lumbar, and then they can assist on regular lumbar flexion. So with me, what I would do, hold a cable right here. That's gonna pull you this way. All right. And then so at the gym, you're holding your cable here. Rotate that lumbar like this, and do not extend it when you rotate it, but keep it a little bit in regular flexion. And then as you rotate, you can kind of try to lateral flex it too. So just like this right there. And then try to limit. You can move the pelvis with it too, but I would still try to limit that a little bit so we can get more rotation in the lumbar. I'm trying to do more push-ups for. Let's see. I'm trying to do more. Let's see. Sorry about that. I kind of lost that question. So I don't think I can. I was doing 3 sets to failure every other day. Alright, sorry, that's not really a question. How do I gain weight as a skinny person? The first thing you got to do is assess yourself, and the next thing I ask is, do you want to gain weight or do you want to gain fat-free mass? All right. So if fat mass goes down and fat-free mass goes up, are you gonna be unhappy or not? Like then what if fat-free mass stayed the same and fat mass went up? Like then you would just basically be gaining fat mass to gain weight. So I'm assuming you want to gain fat-free mass, right? But that's then another thing I talk a lot about that on my fat loss versus weight loss playlist. Let's see. For those of you that have just joined, I am taking on questions now, so make sure you go ahead and comment in. So yeah, if you want to build muscle mass, again, my first tip is, so you got the compound movements. You got your squats, deadlifts, hip thrusters, overhead press. You got your bench press. You got your rows and pull downs. And then again, you can do your bench press, close grip, wide grip. Overhead press can be done wide grip or close grip. Pull-ups can be done, or pull downs can be done close grip or wide grip. Same thing with the seated rows. It can be done close grip or wide grip. You don't have to do every single variation of all of them, but on one of my videos I kind of explain how if you do I kind of explain how it arranges so you don't develop muscle imbalances here. But again, just the most important thing here is when you do those movements, you just start off with light weight and record your form. And then you can eventually start training at an RPE of 10 and all that. But just make sure you're always recording your form. As long as your form is good, then of course keep pushing yourself, alright? You should switch questions faster. Alright. Yeah, as you can see, I kind of getting way off topic. Why does my elbow forearm hurt when I do close grip bench press? So your elbow and your forearm. There's a lot of things here. You should ask a physical therapist. This is outside the range of my expertise. But again, some assessments here. Look at your wrist position. and just see what happens. Just like see, like I'm thinking, it could be, you could, that flexor digitorum superficialis could be tight. So again here, just see if you feel a stretch along here. If not, then that's probably not the case. But your best bet here is go see a physical therapist or go ask one on TikTok. There's lots of physical therapists on TikTok. So yeah. Um, what are some easy things to do to help stay in a positive nitrogen balance? So yeah, there's a lot of easy things you can do. You can make sure you get enough sleep. You can make sure you reduce the other stresses outside of training. So yeah, doing those two things will definitely feel very relaxing. You can also make sure that you don't overtrain. So make sure that you aren't just, if you're working out 7 days a week, doing like your workout consists of a total of 25 sets all done at an RPE of 10, you're likely going to be overtraining even if you are reducing the other stresses outside of training and getting enough sleep. So again, make sure you manage your training too. All right. So yeah, those should be some easy things. How long until I see results in the that could depend on many different factors. So yeah, I have a swinging wing scapula. How do I fix it? Um, so first of all, I recommend to see a physical therapist. But again, make sure work on retracting the scapula and protracting the scapula. Strengthen your serratus anterior and rhomboids and lower and mid traps. So again, you need to work on. You could just hold a cable like this, retract the scapula, and then protract the scapula by just pushing something out like this. You can do a scapula push up and then work on depressing that scapula too. But I would recommend to go ahead and see a physical therapist. That is a little outside the range of my expertise. All right.